The table shimmered with candlelight, golden plates, and exaggerated smiles. I walked in holding a bottle of wine I could barely afford, determined to earn a place in a family that never welcomed me. My mother's stare cut through the room before her words did. She stood, pointed at me like a stranger, and declared, "We're ashamed of you." Laughter rippled across the table, not out of confusion, but confirmation. Forks froze, eyes widened, and even children sensed something irreversible had happened. My father sighed, dismissing me with a glance, as if my existence were inconvenient. I realized then this wasn't disappointment. It was a verdict delivered in front of witnesses. Christmas didn't break that night.
My family bond did.
Long before that dinner, my value wasn't measured in love, but in comparison. Every accomplishment I earned became ammunition for bitterness. When I bought my car, they mocked its price. When I earned a promotion, they said I fooled my employer. My siblings' smallest efforts, waking early, answering emails, were celebrated like royal achievements. Mine were treated like statistical errors. For years, I carried their judgment like a shadow, believing something in me was defective. Then clarity came. They didn't despise my failures. They resented my refusal to collapse. I didn't ask for loans, approval, or applause. Independence made me uncontrollable, and that terrified them. Christmas wasn't humiliation's beginning. It was simply the night they stopped pretending to admire me. My cousin Thomas arrived late, still smiling from traffic, unaware he was walking into an emotional courtroom. He hugged everyone, then frowned at my chair placed beside the kitchen, far from the glittering table. "Why isn't he sitting with us?" he asked. Silence cracked the room. My mother answered coldly, suggesting I disrupted harmony. Thomas watched as jokes turned into insults. My job, my clothes, even the wine I brought became punchlines. Nobody defended me. It wasn't discomfort, it was routine. Later, Thomas pulled me aside and whispered, "This isn't tradition. It's cruelty wearing family clothes." His words didn't fix anything, but they validated everything. For once, I wasn't crazy. I was mistreated, and someone finally saw it. My mother claimed I disgraced the family name as if personal ambition was a scandal. She worshipped appearances, luxury trips she never paid for, rented cars, and photos staged for people she disliked. My father joined her performance, calling me the face of failure, and the crowd laughed, relieved the target wasn't them. It became clear my existence served a role, to absorb insecurities they refused to confront. They didn't destroy me out of disappointment. They needed someone beneath them to feel superior. My independence wasn't defiance. It was evidence that they settled for illusions. That realization didn't sting. It liberated me. The shame they projected wasn't mine. It belonged to the people who required an audience to feel whole. I rose from my chair, ready to slip out quietly, but my mother blocked the doorway like a guard. "We're not finished," she sneered, expecting tears. Eyes turned toward me, craving drama. Instead, I put on my coat, breathed deeply, and said, "You were never ashamed. You were terrified I didn't need you anymore." My voice didn't tremble. No emotion leaked. The silence afterward was louder than any argument I could have offered. My siblings stared, suddenly unsure whom to follow. My parents froze, stripped of their authority. I didn't storm out. I exited calmly, leaving their hierarchy intact, but without me inside it. They didn't lose a child that night. They lost control of the narrative they built. At dawn, Thomas called, his voice heavy with guilt. He confessed he had recorded the entire dinner, the insults, the laughter, even my parents discussing the plan days earlier. "They needed you humiliated publicly," he said. I braced for rage, but relief arrived instead. Proof replaced doubt. My pain wasn't exaggerated. It was engineered. Hearing the recording tore away the last thread of self-blame. I wasn't difficult or dramatic. I was targeted. Evidence doesn't erase wounds, but it turns confusion into clarity. Their cruelty wasn't accidental. It was rehearsed. And now, for the first time, the story they crafted about me had cracks they couldn't patch. Truth didn't free me. It validated every escape I was about to make. 30 days later, My business opened its doors. The same traits they mocked, quiet focus, independence, stubborn resilience, became my currency. Investors admired what my family condemned. A local journalist published my story, celebrating the journey they once ridiculed. Hours later, my phone rang. My parents didn't congratulate me. They asked if they could attend the launch dinner. There was no apology, only entitlement. I crafted a single invitation, one seat reserved, one name printed. Mine. Not a rejection, but a mirror. They once excluded me publicly. Now I did the same, with dignity, not vengeance. For the first time, they met a version of me they couldn't belittle. Silence became my language. Boundaries became my inheritance. This Christmas, I cooked for one. No noise, no competition, no audience waiting for a misstep. My home felt like a sanctuary rather than a stage. I lit a candle, set a single plate, and tasted food seasoned with calm. I didn't mourn their absence. I celebrated my freedom. I realized family isn't blood, it's behavior. Respect is a door only I decide who enters. They didn't shame me because I failed. They shamed me because I refused to play the role assigned to me. They needed a scapegoat. I became my own foundation. My tradition now isn't gifts or gatherings. It is peace. And once you taste peace, chaos feels foreign. Leaving wasn't a loss. It was a rebirth.